Never thirsty. Never thirsty.
So you're actually living in California right now. You're working actively. I know you're also a filmmaker. You direct videos, you do graphic design, you sort of do it all. Is that sort of what you have to do these days? Is you have to do it all? Because it seems like you wear a lot of hats.
It's just like what inspires me at any certain time. And the people who I work with, it's really just whoever I happen to be connecting with at the time. And I love just doing all kinds of things. It is possible to make it in just doing music, but I'm not that interested. It just gets boring because you also have to kind of be limiting yourself because you have to look at so many other things than just that spur of the moment excitement, that vibe where you're like, oh man, like, let's create something, create magic, let's make it happen. There's a lot of that grind, which just doesn't get me that excited anymore. So I'm more like looking for new places of inspiration. And right now I'm creating this art installation thing, like a giant kaleidoscope that we're going to put up, and it's going to go on tour all over the States, and where you can experience all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's got nothing. I mean, I'm making film there. I'm doing animations. I'm constructing stuff. I'm putting it all together and making sonics and weird sounds. Like we just put out a movie that's about a person who's basically making music from killing people. She kills people and then she creates music out of it. So I was really excited to be that guy whose job is to figure out how does that sound? How would our 20-something girl go about? These are the scenes, these are the killings, this is how these people are going to die. Okay, what kind of a masterpiece would she be working on, and how would it actually come together, and how would it sound so that it would be at least 1% believable? But
So what did you have to do? Go out and kill people?
No, I mean, we just took like basically meat and all kinds of tools and just like created samples. And of course it was just actually a lot of it was just putting it together in the larger context of how do we make those things to come alive. But it was definitely a really, again, something very different, something a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing.
You said meat. So are you talking about you like would get a piece of meat and like hit the meat like Rocky?
Yeah, and just like mic it differently so we can kind of get different sounds and but of course, how actually it was like trying to get a sound and bones, to crack bones and sounds that you can still kind of connect with whatever was going on in the picture. There was like some finger slicing sounds that I needed to figure out. That one we actually then ended up just using
a carrot.
No, I can't remember what we were chopping, but we were like chopping it. But because now when I actually see the scene, I feel it in my fingertips. I'm like, but actually it wasn't. I wasn't actually like using it, but I was able to make the impression for myself that even after like a year, I'm like, oh, I can't. Oh, and I'm not even like a huge horror movie fan, but it was just a challenge I just needed to kind of.
That's pretty cool.
Into.
Never thirsty. Never thirsty.